Hey everybody, it's John and I'm here today on the property. It's a windy day. There's equipment in the background making noise and there's a lot of traffic behind me as school lets out. But I'm here today to answer two questions. Number one is, what the heck is a word from the stump? And number two, where is the stump? So we're going to answer both of those questions today. Okay, I'm going to answer the first question. What the heck is a word from the stump? Well, I'm actually sitting on it. But let me give you the long, short version. And I can hear you now. Yeah, sure, you're going to give a short version. So July of 2019, I was blessed to be appointed as the pastor of a church with no name in Hardin Valley. My kids went to Hardin Valley High School. My oldest son's 28. He was the first freshman class that went all the way through. His little brother went through. So we've been around Hardin Valley for a long time. So it was a true blessing to be appointed as the pastor of this soon-to-be church, July of 2019. And so I hired a coach, I rented an office, and I was ready. And I say it was just me and my coach, and then Rusty, and of course my district superintendent and our great Bishop Taylor at the time, who's now retired. So I got started, and the coach came in town and we had those big white sticky pads, and my office was a conference room, but I put those pads all the way around the wall. And I remember we started and we ended on the other side. August of 2020 was our projected launch date. We knew a lot in terms of what was coming in the future, but nowhere on the wall was a pandemic. And so that definitely caught us by surprise. So fast forward to March of 2020, I got a call from Rusty, and it was like, put it all on ice. We had hired Kim to be our children's director, ultimately our director of family ministries. We hired Kim on a Monday, and I had to call her on Friday and say, hold off. Very difficult call. It was worse for them because they'd already sold their house. So anyway, we sat on ice for what seemed like an eternity. And we waited for a tithing report. All the Methodist churches are connected. And so a large part of the funds for this church plant came from the connection, came from all the churches tithing. And so we waited for that report. And at the time, I was trying to assemble a launch team, and it got a little bumpy. And so right when COVID hit, this original launch team, we kind of hit a wall, to be honest with you. And so I came out to the property. I guess you could say it was therapy. And for some reason, when I sat on this stump, I felt connected. It confirmed my pastor's calling because I was struggling. I had no connection to the community. So I would sit here, and for some reason it would give me a sense of connection to this community that I was now called to serve. And so I was in a struggle, personal struggle with this launch team, and I would sit here, and Easter's coming, and I felt that pressure to do something, to say something. And so I think this would be, we call it fake it till you make it. That Easter story, that Easter message was just me feeling pressure to say something. But it was the beginning of what's now called a word from the stump. So from the Easter message, I began to come out here, and I've got this tripod that my phone is sitting on, and I started to hit the record key, and I just talked about what we were going through at the time. And it was COVID, it was being shut down, the lack of community, and then other things began to happen. I remember racial unrest broke out, and so I talked about racial unrest, and those messages are still way down there in Facebook, if you care to go back and check them out. And so that's what started. Now, two things came out of a word from the stump. Number one is, I really felt like I got my voice back. I felt like I had lost my voice, and through the struggle and through this opportunity, I was able to, I guess you'd say, get my voice back. But number two is some of our church leaders came from this message. So in a real weird way, this stump became foundational for what became Valley Church. Early on, part of it's giving it a name. So I don't know what we're going to do. I'm not big into plaques or those things, but I can't ignore the fact that this stump on the property, which will be in the green space on the building, we'll just recognize it as part of the history of this church. So, okay, number two question, where is the stump? I kind of want to give you your perspective. I'm looking at Pellissippi State College, and King College is on the other side of that dirt mound, and here's Hardin Valley Road going back toward the high school. And so there's a good landmark, that ugly tree. So the stump is right here. Somebody actually put a stake there, which is kind of cool. But this is the location of the stump. I'll go this way now and show you. This is our green space and our beautiful magnolia tree church. So I'm glad you're curious enough to hit the link key to find out what the heck it meant by a word from the stump and where that thing is located. So thank you for clicking on this link, and now you know what it means, a message from the stump.